the Surya Namaskara. So translated, that's called the sun salutation. Done in the morning, it invigorates your body, it wakes your body up. And also it's recommended to actually, if you do this sequence 6 times every morning, it is enough movement or exercise for the entire day.
Okay.
So one Surya Namaskara takes you back to the very starting position that we're starting at. Alright, so we're going to start in your standing Tandasana, arms to the side of the body, palms facing forward. We're going to pull up the belly, so we're going to pull the belly button into the spine. We're going to roll the shoulder blades back, open up the chest. Now take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and exhale out through the mouth. Right, arms raised up into high mountain or the Tandasana, and we're going to take a slight back bend, so open the chest up and then back up into a high mountain. We're going to fold forward, bring the hands into an Anjali Mudra, into your forward bend, that's Utstrasana. Drop your head, let all the tension out of your back. Now we're going to lift up into our halfway lift, so extend from the pelvis forward, lengthen your spine, bring your gaze forward onto the floor, long arms. You're going to bend the knees, place the palms on the floor, and we're going to step back with both feet. So this is our first Bakasana. This is called the plank pose. Now in your plank pose, we're engaging all the muscles in the body, so you're really pushing hard into your toes, but you're pushing back with your soles. You're locking your knees, you're engaging your quadriceps, your leg muscles, your abdominals, and you've got a slight rounding of the upper back. Listen carefully, I'm going to give you 2 variations. For your plank down into your Chaturanga Dandasana, you can either drop your knees, keep your elbows tight, and then slowly work your way down onto the floor. We're going to take the hands slightly forward in front of the shoulders, roll over, keep your toes flat on the ground, and we're going to go into an upward facing dog. So we're going to lengthen out the body, extend to the elbows, look all the way up to the ceiling. And slowly come down. Bring the hands to the side of the body or side to the side of the chest, roll over the toes, and you're going to push yourself up into a Bakasana, so your plank pose, and then into your first downward dog. So now on your downward dog, you can take your feet slightly wider apart. Your downward dog is also known as Ardha Mukha Shavasana. Heels flat on the ground. Lock into the knees, lengthen out the back of the legs, and you need to make sure that you're placing more weight in your heels and your legs than in your upper body. Drop your head and feel that your head is heavy, hanging between both arms. Drive into your palms. Lengthen your fingertips out. Imagine that your body is a full extension of all the energy that runs from the head all the way up, through, down, and into the feet, into the ground. Listen very carefully. You're going to look forward, bend or lift your heels, then bend your knees, sit back. Either step or jump forward. In this case, we're going to step forward with 1 foot at a time to meet one another, and back into our forward bend, forward fold. We're going to lift up into our half lift, extend from the hips, long spine, and back into your forward fold. We're going to raise up into high mountain or Dandasana, and hands down to your Anjali Mudra, hands to the side of the body. Alright, we're going to do that one more time together. You can stay with doing your Chaturanga, either on your knees, or you can go Chaturanga down in a yogi push-up. That means you keep your knees off the floor. We'll work it a little bit faster. Feet together, arms to the side. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale out. Right, Surya Namaskara. A. Arms up into a high mountain. Palms facing one another. A small back bend. Back into high mountain. Take it down into a forward bend, Utstrasana. And halfway lift. Extend from the hips, long arms, push back. Feel the lengthening out of your hamstrings. Drive into your heels. And back into your forward bend. Drop the head. Bend your knees, palms flat on the floor. Step or jump back into a Bakasana, plank position. Now, we're going to hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 into a chaturanga, so it's a yogi push-up, and then into your upward facing dog. Hands forward, lengthen out the spine, look all the way up to the ceiling, and slowly back down again. Hands to the side of the body, you're going to roll over your feet. You have options to keep your knees down onto the floor or lift them up. We're going to push up into a Bakasana in 3, 2, 1, and downward facing dog. On the next inhalation, we're going to lift the heels, bend the knees, sit back, and step or jump forward. Right, left, halfway lift, lengthen the spine out, and forward bend. On the next inhalation, all the way up into a high mountain, palms facing one another, touch, Anjali Mudra, Samastitihi. Alright, we're going to take a step back into Trikonasana. So we're going to take the right foot, step it nice and far back, and you're going to turn the back foot into a 45-degree angle. Alright. So for our Trikonasana, what's going to happen is that our hips are going to bump back, our upper body is going to stay long and lengthen. So we're simply going to tilt forward into a Trikonasana. The left arm is going to come down towards the heel, and the right arm is going to go up towards the ceiling. Here we go. Brilliant. Now you want to make sure that you are rolling that right shoulder back. Look up towards your focal points. And release it. So we're going to come back up into a standing position. And here we're going to do a very simple thing is that we're just going to change legs. So left foot, we're going to twist into a 45-degree angle. Right foot turn out. So you're going to bump your hips back. And then we're going to reach forward and twist the body. So always look forward and up. Open the chest up. Bring your left shoulder open and wide. Focus on a nice, steady, calm breath. And release it back into your standing position. And last time we're going to turn the right foot in, left foot out. So now we're going to take it into our warrior 2. And we're going to bend that front knee. So let's just bend into it a few times, just feel into the position. See how far that you can go. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that your right knee does not go over your knee, over your ankle joint. So we're going to hold that position. And on the Trikonasana, we've gone now into our warrior 2 position. We're going to drop the shoulders nice and long, nice and relaxed. And then turn the palms facing upwards so it gives us more of an open-hearted space. Now I'm going to add on something here that I love because Skandasana is one of my favorite poses. So watch carefully. We're going to simply bend the right knee. So we're going to lengthen out the front foot or the front leg and bend the right knee into Skandasana. You can use your hands and take it down to the floor. Excellent. And then we're going to Skandasana forward and back into warrior. Alright. So we're going to change sides now. We're going to do warrior on the right foot. So right forward, left foot back. Right arm forward. There we go. Bend the front knee. There we go. So we're first going to bend a few times, bounce into it, get a nice feeling of how strong you are and grounded you are in warrior. Hold it. Now we're going to Skandasana to the back. So we're going to bend the left knee, keep the sole of the foot on the floor, and we're going to slide it forward. Skandasana to the front of your mat. Yeah, that's fine. And then bring it back up into Skandasana onto the front. And then into your last warrior. Turn both feet in. So we've got now Paschimottanasana. So both feet facing forward. We're going to tilt forward from the hips. Keep the spine nice and elongated. And simply swan dive forward. Paschimottanasana. Until you get all the way to the bottom. You can place your hands in line with your shoulders. So to give your body a bit of support, bring it up into a halfway lift and then release down. Now here we have a few options. You can either grab hold of the toes to increase the grip and you want to pull the elbow joint outwards, or you can also opt for grabbing the outside blade of the foot and getting your head as close as you can to the floor. What you want to do is make sure that your spine is elongated, nice and long and flat. And release it up. Hands below your shoulders, support your body and push up into a halfway lift. Listen carefully, you're going to walk your feet slightly in. A little bit more. Okay, so we're going to stay right here and we're going to drop our hips down to the floor into a Malasana. Malasana squat. So this is called our famous goddess squat. Okay, this is going to open up into the hip joints. Now, especially if you are a cyclist, if you're a runner, if you are endurance athlete, the hip joint can become pretty tight, especially because we work the glutes a lot. So on this one, we want to push the elbows into the inside of the knee and bring the palms to our Anjali Mudra, and then just hold it. And the closer you can get with your hips down to the floor, the greater stretch you're going to get into the hip joint. Supporting yourself, you're going to place your palms on the ground, turn your toes facing inwards, so nice and in line with your knees and your hips. You're going to place your right hand, your right palm underneath your foot, your left palm underneath the same left foot, and you're going to bend the knees slightly, drop the head back down. We're trying to get the chest to touch the thighs, and this is our gorilla stretch. And sometimes you can feel like a gorilla when you're doing this. I don't know, but I do. I find that the name of the pose is so appropriate for the feeling that I feel. So if you suffer from tight hamstrings, you're going to really feel a good stretch into your glutes, your hamstrings, and if you lengthen the leg out, you'll feel it a little bit deeper, and release that. Palms flat. Now walk the feet together. Okay, listen carefully. One of our last two stretches or last two poses. We're going to bend the knees, squeeze the knees together, drop the bottom close down to the floor. Now sweep the floor with your fingertips, lengthen your arms up into Utkatasana, chair pose. Lengthen the arms, sit down, work into your heels. Bring your knees behind your toes, and you're going to swing down and bounce up into high mountain. And release the arms into a standing pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Anjali Mudra. Breathe in. Exhale out. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. You can stop.